Welcome back. Having just finished up covering the first 4 steps in the 7-step landing page build-out process, we'll now look at the final 3 steps: integrate, test, and launch. The reason I broke these videos up like this is that the first 4 steps are related to the front-end development of a landing page, while these 3 steps that we'll cover now are related to things that take place on the back end or behind the scenes. So let's begin. Step 5 is called integrate. This is where we connect our landing page to its proper domain, making sure all of the analytics tracking is in place, and set up any third-party integrations with CRMs such as Salesforce or Pipedrive or MailChimp. And we also configure email notifications if needed. This is where we would install Facebook pixels and so on and so forth. It's all the stuff that you might not think about at first, yet is essential to having a fully functional landing page that can be properly tracked. Now, the specifics of a lot of these integrations will be dependent on the landing page platform that you use, and also on your unique needs, so it's impossible to cover all of them in this course. However, as a general rule of thumb, let me make 3 quick suggestions. Number 1, make sure your page is using a secure, encrypted domain. You'll know that it's secure if it says HTTPS in the URL bar. That S is really important. If not, ensure that you have what's called an SSL certificate in place before you launch. Secondly, for any types of tracking scripts, I recommend using Google Tag Manager to install them, rather than hand coding them into your page. This will save you a lot of headaches in the long run. If you're not familiar with Google Tag Manager, it's a free tool from Google that is meant to collect and trigger your tags and scripts. And lastly, if you need to connect your landing page to a third-party tool and can't seem to find a direct integration, check out Zapier. It's a great tool that lets you connect over 1,000 different apps together. If I need to send leads from an unbound page to an active campaign email list, for instance, I can easily do it with Zapier. Okay, moving on to the 6th step, test. This is where you'll test your landing page before going live. There are different types of tests you should run, starting with what I call a functional test. This is where you simply test the functionality of the page. You'll want to look at things like page speed, the responsiveness of the page on different device types or screen sizes, and whether or not all of the links, buttons, and forms work as they should. For page speed testing, I like to use gtmetrix.com. And for testing the display of the page on different devices, I like browserstack.com. That's usually enough at this point, but if you really want to take it further and test the page in full, it's not a bad idea to also conduct some user testing. You can use a tool like usabilityhub.com to conduct a fast 5-second test, where you'll be able to get some quick first impressions from real people. You could go a step further if you want and use a site like trymyui.com to get more in-depth feedback from users as they navigate the page and answer simple questions about it. Now, I understand that this testing phase can seem complicated. There's a lot to remember, but you don't need to worry about it because I have a checklist for you. I have it all written out, and you can download this checklist in the resource section below. It contains the exact items that I check before launching any landing page. So why don't we look at the checklist real quick? Okay, here we have the landing page checklist that I just mentioned. Let's go through it real quick. It's broken up into a few different parts. We have design and copy, speed and functionality, and integration and analytics. In each part, there's checklist items that I recommend you just think about or go through before you launch your landing page. In the design and copy section, we're talking about the design and the copy on the page. So you want to ask yourself things like, are there any placeholder images or placeholder lorem ipsum text that you need to replace before going live? Did you use consistent spacing, colors, and typography? Did you proofread and check for all errors? Does the page have a favicon or favicon, one of those little icons that appears in the browser tab? Does the page have a title and meta description? Have you set up a confirmation or thank you page or a confirmation dialog in a lightbox so that if someone fills out a form, they're going to see a confirmation that their form was submitted properly? Does the page pass a 5-second test, which we've talked about before, or which you can learn about more by clicking this link? Have all non-essential external links been removed from the page to simplify it? Does the call to action stand out with visual cues and colors? And do you have message match between the page copy and the previous step, which is usually the ad that the visitor is going to see. In terms of speed and functionality, here we're talking about things like the optimization of images and graphics. So you want to make sure those are optimized as best as possible. Have you run a speed test using a tool like GTmetrix or Web Page Test? Does the page display correctly on desktop devices? Does it display correctly on mobile devices? Do all the forms work properly with no usability issues? Make sure to test your forms on both mobile devices and on desktops and laptops. Do all the phone numbers and any click-to-call links work correctly? Do all the buttons and links work correctly? And if you're using any type of pop-up or sticky bar, are they firing properly? And lastly, in the integrations and analytics section, here we're looking at things like, have you set up all of the analytics tags, the scripts, and the pixels correctly? Are conversion goals set up and have they been tested? Has the URL been configured properly? Is the page secure by having an HTTPS in the URL bar? Does your page have a privacy policy in the footer? Have you set up email notifications if necessary? Have you tested the entire funnel from start to finish by going all the way through the page as a typical user? And last but not least, have you reset all tracking stats so that you can get a clean number of visits and conversions? So there you have it. Make sure to download this checklist and use it whenever you launch your next landing page project. Okay, we've made it to the 7th and final step in the landing page build out process, launch. Now you might be thinking this one's easy. You just publish the page and sit back while the conversions roll in. Well, not so fast. You see, launching a landing page is just the beginning of the optimization process. You'll now want to continually monitor the page and see what's happening, both on the quantitative side in Google Analytics and on the qualitative side using a tool like Hotjar. This data will help you spot trends, which you can then use to improve the page again and again. You can create A/B tests, and you can incrementally boost the conversion rate over time. Now that you've seen the full 7-step landing page build-out process, there's one more thing I want to show you in detail that's related to one of these steps. While I can't demo every landing page tool in detail, I did decide that I wanted to show you around the Unbounce landing page builder, since it's my personal favorite choice for building landing page projects. And again, if you want to give Unbounce a try, you can use my link below to get a free 30-day unlimited trial. And if you decide to stick around with them after that, you'll save 20% off your first 3 paid months, no matter what plan you choose, just for using my Unbounce partner link. Okay, let's switch over to the Unbounce dashboard for a quick tour of the builder.